Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Welcome to a new episode of Steven from the All Time Podcast. There is no introductions tonight because all the boys are here. You know exactly who is who. Malenko likes to get mad. He doesn't like to introduce himself. He's there in the left-hand corner, right at the bottom. We have the big cheese himself up top in the left-hand corner. And then we got EO Sky's boyfriend in the bottom right-hand corner. Trap all time.
AKA the world's strongest podcaster. Okay.
Boys, the Fatal Four is here. We bring you nothing but the best in hip hop and in wrestling, all combined in one.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have you guys here. How's everyone doing tonight? Don't all speak at once.
Doing good.
Wonderful.
I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. I'm
And
I'm
we all did
excited.
it
I
anyway.
love the Fatal 4-Way thing. I love it.
Me too. I love it. I love how we got everybody here together. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a while. We missed so much, man. It's so, like, come on, the Samoan werewolf has arrived that we all been waiting for now. Oh, he's finally made his debut. Man, we gotta be. It's so much stuff to talk about. We got so much great albums that came out, music. We had a fucking great match between Swerve and fucking Will Ospreay. Man, just so much good stuff that's been happening.
And on top of that, Derek got a haircut.
I see. I wasn't gonna say nothing because I figured, like, he got a haircut. Like, that's what we're men. We're not women. Like, oh, you got your hair done. Like, oh, you got a haircut.
But hold on, and he has a background now. It doesn't look like he's in a prison cell.
Oh.
Gotta represent. Got no choice. Steven was giving me shit for just having a blurred white background the whole time, so I had to jazz it up.
Well, you look like you were in prison.
Well, it's not my fault. I turned this room into a gaming / podcasting room, and I never had a plan for it, as you could tell by my cat right up there. But yeah, I decided to upgrade it. There was time. Steven has given me CDs, so I had to start putting those away, and one thing led to another, and I just had to buy shelves. So yeah.
Speaking of CDs, I've decided, unfortunately, that I'll be slowing down with the purchases of CDs. Unfortunately, I have no more money. I can't just buy everything. There's artists that are putting out remixes now. I can't buy remix albums. I just can't. It's enough. Malenko, you shook your head because you've stopped about a year ago.
Yeah, you've been telling me that for 4 years now. So it's not working. So whatever.
So we have a lot to talk about. Malenko has a lot to edit. Let's get into it right away. 2.5 weeks ago, I said it. We were going to review this album. The Ty Farris, Enigma With An Attitude.
Enigma With An Attitude.
Okay. I wanted to wait a long time because when Ty Farris drops, there's a lot that goes with the albums. Okay. This was an album I didn't want to rush. I want to take our time. I sent it to you, Derek, Malenko. You listened to it. Trap. We spoke about it.
Yeah, you asked me if I listened to it, and I was like, yeah, I listened to it.
And I told you guys this morning, guys, go listen to the album one more time before we do the review episode on this album. Let's get into it.
Because I already listened to it 5 times.
You need to listen to it more time. I've been listening to it for the last 2.5 weeks consistently. I think
really?
I'm at about 20 times in.
Okay.
20 times in. There's a lot to really talk about. Let's get into it. Ty Farris, Enigma With An Attitude. This album is a play on the characters the Riddler, Edward Enigma, and John Kramer, Jigsaw from Saw, and the artist Ty Farris. So there's 3 characters in here. All right.
I was going to say NWA, Niggas With Attitude. that's another one. Enigma. That's why I said Enigma With Attitude. So I thought that was a play on
Not
My fault. I said naysayers with attitude. Naysayers. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, naysayers with attitude.
so there's a lot going on in this album. My first couple of listens, I needed to sit back and just really go track by track and see what was going on here. I've come to the conclusion before I get into it and talk about it with you guys, is that it's Ty Farris in the mind of two other characters, but they have so much of a bond with Ty Farris that the mysterious mind of Ty Farris plays on with Jigsaw and the
Mhm.
Riddler. It's crazy. It's crazy when an artist puts out an album and that you need to be able to sit with it for this long and having to really peel back
Because you have
so
to
many
catch
certain things.
everything.
It's it
So
to
many
me
layers to pull back.
exactly the layers on this album are just crazy, and I'm sure going back to it another 20 times there's going to be
Hmm.
other things that
I'm still
we
catching things.
right, and you've only listened to it 5 6 times like you
Yeah,
mentioned,
and I'm still catching things. Yeah.
but just today I was like, okay, these are three characters. There's Ty Farris the artist, there's Jigsaw, and there's the Riddler. Why did he choose these characters? And for me it's because they all have a couple of things in common. They're mysterious, odd, eerie, complex. They overanalyze stuff, and
Smart.
they're very puzzling. His rhymes and the
I'm gonna
way he
say
breaks
that.
down his music goes hand in hand with the way these characters put their things together, put their just the puzzles that Jigsaw would put together, or just the notes and the things that the Riddler would send to Batman. These things have things in common, and it all wraps around the way Ty Farris puts his music together. Ty Farris
Hmm.
is a mysterious guy. Like when we only really hear from Ty Farris when his music comes out, and it's kind of like it's so awkward, it's so weird just even talking about it. I'm kind of like, okay, am I saying the right things? Is it really the mindset that he went in when he wrote this album? What is he trying to tell us? What is
It
he trying to
sounds
tell
like
us?
it to me.
Right? And
And
even
and he
go.
got, I feel like he got more complex, not more complex, but I really feel like he expressed his wordplay and rhyming ability more. I think, as you said, to capture the essence of those characters. So I feel like that was done on purpose because he's already one of those guys that's already his lyrics. You have to go back and catch things. So I feel like
Mhm.
to expand on that for this album is like, okay, I get what you were trying to do. If that was what he was trying to um do for this album. So I think that's what I got from it when I was listening to it.
It's like putting pieces of the puzzle together. You're trying to understand Ty Farris more, and he kind of had to use these characters really to put those pieces of the puzzle together. And we're still putting pieces of the puzzle together. Malenko, you messaged me, and I love when you do this. You're like, "Fuck! Did you hear? Did you hear the album?
Yeah, because
You
we talked about it on the episode, the mid-year review. You guys
Mhm.
had it both on your list, and I didn't even listen to it yet, so I couldn't have it in my list. And
Oh
once I
yeah, I
listened to
wanted to
it, I
say
went
that
like,
too.
"Oh fuck!" Like this would have maybe played in the top fives or in
Hmm.
the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is my Ty Farris favorite album.
what
Mm.
what are your thoughts on the album, Malenko?
I mean, I, my first thought when I listened to this is Ty Farris is elite, and when you talk about rhyming, he's
Hmm.
elite. I think there's not much MCs that are at that level. Uh, the way he constructed the album is very how can I say, very precisely done. I love
Hmm.
the way he just constructed the album and the whole the whole mystery behind all beats. But it's just so many quotes about this. Like every song has a quote or a rhyme that I'm like,
Hmm.
damn, I never heard that before. You know, when he talks about, like, yes, he quotes higher for his verses than any other MC, but if you get his verse, it's like a financial, it's like it's a how he says it's like a it's like a, how can you say that? I don't know. I just forgot.
Financial?
It's not a financial, but it gonna come to me next. But the way he just says it, like,
Yeah.
damn, like it's true. That, like, I never heard something talk about his quote of his verse like that.
It's
Like,
complex. He makes complex rhymes, but it makes you think. It's like you're trying to understand what the picture he's painting you, right?
yeah, exactly. So I like the whole idea behind this, and just with the cover alone, you
Yeah,
see
the
you
cover was
see,
hard.
yeah, you see Jigsaw just on the floor, the Riddler on top. Like, I just, I love
I love
the
cover hard.
concept of this album.
Derek,
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this. Just being new to the scene and all the artists that we've been sending you, and just the conversations we've been having about hip
Yep.
hop. Such a complex artist and such an interesting artist like Ty Farris himself. Go for it, man.
I think what I got from the album, at first I wasn't too sure where he was going to go with the whole Jigsaw Riddler sort of thing. But to echo sort of what you guys are saying, I think that's how he perceives himself in the rap community, as being the unknown, as being the guy who delivers. We know he's a main character, we know he's a main villain, but we're not quite sure what his motives are. So I think in the rap
Mm-hmm.
world, he perceives himself as the Jigsaw, as the Riddler, and I think that's really, I think it comes through in a lot of his verses, a lot of his bars. He sort of presents you with the riddle and then gives you the answer to that riddle. For every sort of punch and every bar, he builds it up like a riddle, and then the punchline is the actual answer to that riddle. So I think that was really, really interesting. And yeah, I just think the way he crafted the album, like Milenko said, there's a good flow to it. There's not a song that stands out as being like a sore thumb. Everything sort of flows and mellows into each other. And I think that was really interesting, the way that he sort of like laid that out. You go from having like these loopy beats, these sort of more like dark, ominous, kind of eerie beats, and he has a really easy way to get around those beats. I think he really stands out as an MC on those specific tracks. And like Malenko said, he had some sick bars. Every time you just go back to it, you just get hit with a punchline, or you get hit with something you didn't get the first time. And I think that's super, super interesting. So yeah, I think the way he crafted this whole thing, and the message he's putting forward in terms of who he is and who he wants to be in this rap world, is like, he's okay with being that unknown. And I think that's really obvious, because what are two things that Jigsaw and Riddler have in common? They have two passions. Jigsaw is to punish the people he feels like should be punished, and the Riddler is to get after Batman. Yep. And I feel like that's what he's doing with this. He's like, I have one focus, and this is to own this rap game. I have that dead focus like those two characters have. I'm going to come at you differently, but my goal is to win. My goal is not to play second fiddle. So I think that was really cool.
Yeah, he talks about, like, he got a rhyme about like all of these MCs are mostly broke. But I say that with a heavy heart. Like, I love that he talks about like he's the main villain, and he got this whole community that he's trying to rise up. So that's something that I really like. My favorite line of this whole album is on the last song. It says, civilized never. This villain spits venom lines. Clever. You're 5 rapper. I'm probably 20 times better. Fuck, that's that's the wordplay level that we have with this guy. So
the wordplay level is elite.
He had a whole rhyme scheme, a whole Spider-Man Venom Carnage rhyme scheme towards the middle of that album. That was fire too.
That was fire.
He quoted Cat Williams in the beginning of the album. Yep. You know, like he's aware of everything that goes on, but brings it back. And like I said, the way he crafts those enigmas, his bars are the enigmas. And then he just gives you the line. So you're thinking he's going in a certain direction, then he hits you with something else. And that's what a master wordsmith does. And that's what he did.
And he's a naysayer. That's why it's called Enigma With An Attitude. Keep leaving out the NWA reference. Yeah, that's there, man. Naysayer with attitude, man.
Look, I can't get enough of this album. It's crazy because when he puts out project, he doesn't put out a lot in a year. He'll put out 2, maybe 3.
And then he'll be featured on a Mickey Diamond record here and there, or somebody you'll catch a feature there, and he'll kill that feature.
Derek, he's on He's on the feature of the album, the artist you sent me.
Samurai.
Yeah.
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 Oh, it's an investment. That's the word I was fucking looking for. It's an investment. When you pay that money for that verse, it's an investment because he gives you the best fucking line. Because he's a killer on features. He's a killer.
Always.
He's like, you're gonna pay, but you know you're gonna get quality, and you know people are gonna tune in to listen to this feature. So,
yeah,
and
I love that.
And to Steven's point, I sent him an artist about a few weeks ago, Samurai, and there's a Ty Farris feature, and from an artist that I hadn't heard about, Steven hadn't heard about. To see a Ty Farris, automatically you're like, oh, he's got a Ty Farris feature.
I gotta go.
We gotta listen.
That.
We gotta
the
dig
Lupe
into this
Fiasco album, right? Samurai.
No.
Samurai. It's an artist. I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna talk about it later. But you automatically notice because Ty Farris is not gonna do a feature for anyone he doesn't feel is going to contribute to this hip hop.
Of course.
Okay.
That's not what he does. That's not what he does. Why would he openly call himself the Riddler and Jigsaw and then stoop to a lower level? That's just not him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wants the bag. Everyone wants the bag, but he's gonna bring you quality, and I think a lot of artists know that. You want to get noticed in this game, you got to bring in the heavy hitters, and he's a heavy hitter.
Yep.
Just production on here real quick. We have probably one of the best future wave produced songs.
The best beat is the best beat
of all time. This is Future Wave's best produced.
You think so?
Man, what Future Wave gave him.
Because hold on, let me look at my notes. Because I like the song he did with Danielson.
Future Wave
that just came out. Yeah.
Yes, but hold on a second. I'm not listening to it. Trap likes to listen to like singles and stuff. I can't do it anymore.
Singles come out. I listen to singles now. I like that artist bring back singles now before the album. Bring back singles so I can know what I'm getting into again.
No.
And then when you drop the album, I can see how it fits into the album. I like that. Bring back singles. Bring back the independent. What you call it? Art cover for the single. I'm all for it. Bring it back, baby. That's how we are. Everybody's like, oh, I want the 90s. I want the. That's how we got to do it. Bring back singles, baby. Bring it back. He dropped 2 singles with so Danielson with Future Wave.
But
can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, but this Future Wave beat, man, is the best he's done, man. It fits so well with the opening to the album. But if you put this song anywhere in the album, it'll fit because that production value on this is just it. I don't know, man. If these two would ever put out an album together, Future Wave and Ty Farris, a complete album, it's done. It's just game over. Don't release anything after the album comes out. It wouldn't be worth listening to because it would just be so good. Yep. We have Brooks XY, if that's how you pronounce it, production. Animas, Really Him, August Fannin, Don Carrera, Don the Jeweler. Wino Willie, Wavy the God, and like he says,
I like Wavy the God.
Wavy the God is great. He did that. Great. He did this with Rome Streets and Water this year. Yeah, great album. What he did with Water, and Camouflage Monk to end off the album.
I like Camouflage Monk too. Rome Streets put me on a lot of Camouflage Monk.
That Camouflage Monk beat that he gave Ty Farris is just fucking great. What's that sound? It's like there's like a beep sound in it or something like that. Amazing. But before we move on and we give our score for this album, it's crazy how we sit here and we take our time when we have to review an album. But it's crazy how much we dig deep. Like this guy is it's almost insane to say that there's so much layers, but we're here as fans, Trap, and you have a point where we're putting so much effort and we just want to I don't know how to explain it, but
because we like real music, real rap. You understand? Everybody's on this wave of hip hop is dead, which I'm not a part of. Which I think is just a lazy narrative for journalists and other podcasts to get views and clicks. When really you have people like Ty Farris, who's delivering the craftsmanship and the art, which you call hip hop, which is he's giving you all the elements of hip hop. And then you guys say this is what you want, but you're ignoring it when it's there right in front of you. You don't talk about it. You highlight all the negative aspects of hip hop that you don't like and the artists that you don't like, But my thing is this: we live in this world where we hate like things. So like you hate it, but you give it so much attention, and then when it blows up, you complain about it. Give more attention to the real hip hop, the real artists. And so I feel like that's what we like, and that's what we search for, and that's why we dig so deep into it because we really appreciate it and we really
Mm-hmm.
like it. And the music, and it's just really good. Like Ty Farris is just a really good MC. Like he's not a rapper, he's an MC. There's tiers, there's MCs, there's rappers, etc. Ty Farris is in the MC bracket.
And
You understand what
slash,
I'm saying?
and I'm gonna say also artist, because the way he
Yeah,
crafts his
of
music,
course.
the way he puts his music,
Absolutely.
the artistry behind what he does, I'm telling you guys, nobody's doing it this way.
I'm
I'm
glad you
sorry.
said that.
I'll put that up against anybody. If we're gonna sit here,
Mhm.
listen to this album 20, 30 times and dig deep into it and be able to pull all this back and pull all this information, the artist, dude, there's okay, and there's even stuff in the underground where we're just like, yeah, this is a great album, but it's just because the music is great and the artist is great. But there's a dude right here that's putting out this music where we just, there's so much that comes with it. There's
Right.
so much. I don't want to say entertainment, but there's so much value to the music and what he does and what he puts together that is just like, here, I'm gonna give you this body of work, but it's also a movie. You also gotta go listen to it 1,000 times. There's also gonna be so much involved in it that I'm gonna give you the best work. And Ty Farris just gave us his best work he's ever done. Period. Period.
We say that all the time. We say that about the last project, and then he come up with this. It's kind of we do that with Mickey Diamond a lot. We'd be like, "Yo," and then he comes back and pops it.
But
Am I lying?
to
But
both
that's
of your
good,
point,
though.
that's just the thing, right? We want artists to evolve, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're only fighters are like that. We quote fighters like that.
That's
You're
exactly
only
what I
as
was
good
gonna
as your last fight.
Right.
And you can't be an artist and not try to get better and not put out at least something different. It might not be as good, but at
Right.
least you tried and you evolved and you tried to make it better. And I think that's what that did. And I remember a few months ago, we all collaborated on this. We went, what album would you give to someone who wants to get into hip hop or hasn't gotten to hip hop, right? We did that thing. We sent Steven
Yeah.
the videos.
Mhm.
I think this should be part of that conversation.
Yeah,
I think I
could.
think I give this to some of my friends who are more into metal, and I give this to them, and I'm like, you know what? Don't dig into this. Just give it an initial listen and tell me you're not captivated. Because by the time you start that album is done quick. Like
Mhm.
the flow of that album, there's a whole sort of process and a story and a procedure to listening to this album. The next song flows into the next so well that there's no track that really stands out. So by the time you're done, like that album has flown by, and then you have no choice to revisit it. Then now you're revisiting it. You're like, you know what? Let me actually listen to this. And now you start catching the little bars. You start catching the obvious ones at first, and then you start catching the second ones, the third ones. And all of a sudden, this is the fifth time listening to it, and you're like, okay, like I knew hip hop. This is something completely different, right? And it sort of opens that door for a lot of people in terms of what's getting done right now. They keep hearing hip hop is dead. Hip hop is anything but dead. You just have to go looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Agree, 100%.
Before we get to the scores, Ty Farris, I would put him in the same category as the Black Thoughts, the Royce the
I
5'9".
was saying that. I was
Okay.
gonna say that, bro.
Let's not fucking hide that fact. This dude is an elite MC artist, whatever you want to call it. This guy's on a different level. End of story. Malenko, I want your score.
So I will give it for my score, I'll go for 8.5 out of 10. The only thing that I have to say about my only gripe, I love that word, about the whole album, I don't know if you guys gonna agree with me. I think it's yes, it blends well, but even after multiple listens, sometimes I'm still having problems differentiating some of the songs. So
Yeah.
I think at the last part, like that 8, 9, 10, those three songs, they blend a bit too much together. For my liking, I would have loved a "What the fuck is this" type of beat,
Mm-hmm.
like a Rock Marciano, like a Mike Shab, like a real weird motherfucking song that just stands out. Like, what the hell is this? And just Ty carrying it. I think the production could have been a bit stronger on that part. But other than that, it's just well constructed. So, and great emceeing. So 8.5 out of 10. My favorite Ty Farris album.
Trap.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
An 8 is I really enjoyed the album thoroughly. Like I said, it's so many quotables, so many lines that you have to go back and catch. It's what you want from a hip hop album, and it's also what you expect from Ty Farris if you listen to Ty Farris. But on another level, like it's what you get, but on this one, he wanted to show off his lyrical ability even more.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, like you said in the beginning, so it could tie in to the theme of the album, Enigma with an Attitude. So I thought it was great overall. So an 8 for me.
Derek.
For me, I'm gonna go same score as Malenko. I'm gonna go 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll probably grow on me even more, even if that's possible. But I love the flow of the album. To Malenko's point, when Malenko didn't like, I kind of liked the fact that there was a steady flow and it was a movie. There was like a really high point and then it started dying down towards the bottom. I genuinely like albums that flow well. Those standout tracks, sometimes it just takes me out of that listening rhythm. Might be good for singles, but for me, I like to listen to a story. So I understood where he was coming from and how he approached that album. He wanted the whole thing to flow. And I think there's a few standout tracks. In my opinion, I think Mind of the Jigsaw is probably the track that stands out the most. Just because the production is just a little bit different. It's a little bit heavier. It's got a little bit more bass to it. And that's right in the middle of the album, almost right in the middle of the album. So I think for me, that's the track that stands out the most. But as for the rest, everything, there's not a track on here that's bad. There's no bad tracks. All of those are 7, 8, 9s on 10s. So it's just a matter of how you're feeling that day that's going to alter that score. So yeah, I think 8.5 for me.
Those drums are crispy all over the album. Those drums are so crispy.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the track list right now before I give my score. Like just Riddles from a Ruger, Puzzle Full of Pistols, The Enigma, Villain with a Smile. I love the way the album ends. Who Got the Answers, Third Eye, Never Lie, and Enigma with an Attitude, man. I just find it flows so well. Look, it's his best project. I'm looking at all his projects that I own. This is his best project. I'm going with a fucking 9.5. Like
look. I think it's going to be a contender for album of the year for Steven.
I think so.
There's a lot of projects coming out. There is a lot of projects that are going to be coming out. We still have I would say a nice 5 months and a bit to
half a year. We still have half a year.
But dude, like I've listened to it 20 times. Imagine we're going to get into what came out on Friday. I was still putting this on consistently. Like it's the album right now that I'm just like, oh, I want to listen to this. Oh, wait a second, I want to listen to the Ty Farris first. I feel like I still haven't dug deep in it. Like I still haven't found everything out about the album. Like there's so much more, and I'm so happy that what they did with Bars Over BS with this, they put out 3 different covers, and the cover I bought, the OB Stripe, came with a trading card. It comes with a trading card with the album cover on it. I am super excited. Ty Farris, thank you very much. I appreciate you. We appreciate your music. Don't put any more albums out this year because I don't have the time.
I thought you were about to say he came out with 3. I bought the 3 of them. I bought
the 3. What did he say?
Speaking of CDs, I've decided, unfortunately, that I'll be slowing down with the purchases of CDs.
Right.
But yeah, no, they're tricking you. You can't.
If Steven finds out that with the 2 other albums he also gets a trading card, he's buying both.
It's over.
No, it's sold out. It's sold out in an hour. It's done. It's done.
It's done.
Okay, Malenko, kick it off. What else came out on Friday? God damn it.
Oh shit! This Friday, you caught me by I don't know what the fuck
Okay.
came out this Friday, but
So-
a lot of I've been listening to so much that came out in the whole on the whole June. It's insane.
Uh, you wanted to give scores and shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna give 2 scores because we talked about in the last episode, and back then on the 146, I think, the Alchemist and Hit Boy, with the big hit, Black and White. I'll give that a 7.5 because I promised the listener I would give it a note, so that's my final note,
Great
7.5.
album. I really
Um,
enjoyed it.
The big surprise for me is Knowledge and Anderson Paak with No Worries. Why Lord? That's a 9 out of 10. Sorry. I choked on it, but yes.
Pause.
9 out of 10,
Pause.
bro.
Pause.
Pause. So
But it's a 9 out of 10.
Crazy.
It's the best thing, bro. It's the best thing that came out this year.
wow. So that's your number. That's probably your number 2 then.
Probably I'm gonna see if it grows on me for the rest of the year, but
I still haven't listened.
It's on my list of
Ooh.
things to listen to. He was so high on it the last episode. I was like, I gotta give it a listen. I gotta give it a listen, and now it's made the top of the list. So.
Anderson Paak just went
like
through
Anderson Paak.
he just went through a divorce. He just went through the whole thing, bro. And for him to open up and talk about it like that on the album is sick. It's funny. It's thoughtful. And the production. I put Knowledge, I think, number 2 in my producers list. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, that's why. I think it's a strong 9 out of 10 album, consistent. And Devin Malik came out with an album that I think that came out Friday. I gave it 2 or 3 spins. Devin Malik is the new TDE artist. The album is called Deadstock.
And it's good?
I don't think none of you guys gonna like it.
Oh, thanks.
I give it
Thanks for
2 or
saying
3.
me.
I give it 2 or 3 spins. It's not my type of music. It's I hate to say it, but it's like a Playboy Cardi type
Not for
of
me.
artist. So I like some of the vibes that he gets on there with the production, but I think Devin Malik's lyricism is just not getting to me. So, but the production wise, I can respect it. And the first song, "Bang Your Head" with Schoolboy Q, you can hear the Blue Lips. You can hear the Devin Malik influence that he had on Schoolboy Q for Blue Lips. That's for sure.
Okay. I'll go listen. I'll listen to that in the Knowledge. Just because you're.
I don't think you're gonna you listen to the first song and that's it. I don't think you're gonna be like, okay, I get it.
Worthy dropped 3 songs that I really like.
You listening to the singles again? I don't know how you do it.
So he dropped "Woo Woo" with Meet the Whoops. 105 West featuring DJ Quick, Ty Dolla $ign.
I heard that song.
That's
I
a
heard
good
it.
one. And then hold on, I'm looking at it on my computer. And then the other one is with Benny the Butcher and Summer Activity with Jay Exodus and Benny the Butcher.
Okay.
Wow.
So that came out. I've been listening to that. DJ Muggs and Ross Fresco dropped a single.
Yep, that's gonna be a crazy album.
Didn't listen to this single. Didn't listen. Don't want to listen.
They also dropped another single, "Blow the Spot Up," by DJ Muggs and Ross Fresco.
It ruins the album, all the singles.
No, it doesn't. Stop saying that. We got to get back to bringing singles back. Bring back singles. Singles.
This Friday we had RJ Payne that came out with Hellraiser. That was a 7-track EP.
Oh yeah, I see.
7 songs, 14
okay.
minutes. You listened to it, Steven, too?
I skimmed through it. I was in traffic, but there was just so much to listen to. I gotta go back. I don't know. I don't know what my thoughts are on it. I gotta give it a couple of more spins, to be honest with you.
And
it's underwhelming.
Yeah, you know what came out on this day, 2011?
What?
Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar.
So you listened to Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar?
I listened to Section 80 today by Kendrick Lamar.
Anytime you put out Section 80,
what a motherfucking album!
Anytime you put out anytime you listen to Section 80, you put Section 80 on. Derek put Section 80 on tomorrow. It's It's just mind blowing how great the music is on there.
That was
Wow.
his mixtape. That was a mixtape, and it's
M-
already it's like
Mixtape.
yeah, it's such a well constructed mix.
Fuck.
But man, that album is a I can I cannot say it's a no skip because I think there's the worst Kendrick Lamar song is on that album, and it's called No Makeup. I hate that song.
I don't mind it.
I think I finished it once in my whole life. I cannot do it. I cannot do that. That hook is fucking horrendous. That beat is horrendous. But other than that, top to bottom, incredible album. Jesus.
We got Boldy James and
Oh,
Conductor
yes, I was about to say
Williams
that.
across
I'm
the
gonna say
tracks that came out.
Across the tracks. I've been listening to that all weekend. Another great album.
Fuck.
There's so much good music, bro. Completely produced by Conductor.
I love the flow of the album. Like it's 10
Oh.
songs, 27 minutes, 28 minutes, and Conductor Williams gives him different types of beats that he would not get if he was working with Alchemist or if he was working with Nicholas Craven. He gave him something so different. It's a bit more refreshing. It's more like they're because Boldy James's flow is very like
Monotone and mellow.
yeah, it's like I feel like sometimes I'm like depressed when I'm listening to it. But Conductor Williams gave him that extra to it that it's like, oh, it feels alive. Boldy James feels alive when he's doing it.
Instead of when he's with Nicholas Craven with his drum list, and it kind of
Fuck.
feels, but it's good though. But I like it though.
Trap, you said Boldy James put out 2 of your favorite projects this year.
Yeah, this one, and it might have been in the Nicholas Craven one.
Great project.
Both
Great
of those
project.
Boldy James projects that came out this year have been great for me. I really enjoyed Boldy James. Yeah, Penalty of Leadership with Nicholas Craven. That was a good one.
Great.
That was
great,
a great
great
album. When I re-listened to it for the mid-year review, and I really enjoyed it more than I expected to.
It's
Me
it's
too.
in
I
10.
listened to it the other day. Yeah.
It's in the 10. It's not in the 5, but it's in the 10.
It's definitely in the 10. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say too. Congratulations, because I like that last episode you did with the Abyss podcast and the
Carl,
year
yeah.
Carl.
in review call. Yeah. When I watched that and I clipped it up, I really enjoyed that episode. And
Thank
I
you.
really liked his perspective on music and his takes. Like I really learned a lot about him on watching the show. And I also was jealous because I didn't get a chance to put my review in, but it was fine though. But I really enjoyed y'all. No, I really liked what y'all picked and y'all reviewed. I also enjoyed the fact that he said he enjoys our wrestling podcast, even though he doesn't watch wrestling. So that's good that people are getting back into wrestling. So we're making it cool again. So I like that. But I just want to say congratulations though. Like that was a really good episode.
Thank
I really
you.
thought that was big for the podcast. And
Carl,
yeah, man,
he's a great man.
I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I was sitting there watching like, yo, this is really good. So I just wanted to say congrats on that. And
Thank you.
yeah, man.
For the end of the year, we might do 2 episodes. It may be
Yeah,
so
we
starting
have
up
to.
Well, yes, it's gonna be the WrestleMania of podcasting, so
We
we're gonna
should
have to do 2 episodes.
two
Right.
night episodes. Yeah, 4
Yeah, that
hours
mid-year
each.
review, because you only did 5 instead of 10 for the
Yeah,
mid-year review.
Because
Yeah, you
I
only
knew
did 5.
Malenko was just gonna go off the grid with it, so I just needed to just
Yeah, no, 5
stabilize
is
him
alright.
and make him understand that it was 5. Look at his face.
You got to center the producer. The producer needs to stay in the lane.
What else do we get? We got XP the Marksman and Body Bag Ben, Good Times, Bad Times that came out. Body Bag Ben, fucking love that production. I haven't heard hard-hitting beats just like what he did with Vega on Kawasaki Killers, man. Those fucking beats are crazy. Lupe Fiasco, Samurai.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
I
but
did.
didn't listen yet.
The
I
Buzz?
did.
the
I
I
Buzz
didn't
did.
listen yet. You listen to it?
8 songs.
I
Amazing.
didn't listen to it yet. Is it?
Amazing.
Okay.
is
It-
Amy
I'm gonna go check
Winehouse.
that out.
Is
It's from
him
Amy.
rapping on the perspective of Amy Winehouse
Oh,
as
he's
a
doing one
battle
of
rapper.
those.
Mhm.
Uh,
I like
I'm
Lupe.
kind of intrigued, and then I'm kind of not. Just by you telling me that from that perspective, like it's.
I just
I
like
don't
Lupe.
know.
I like Lupe Fiasco a lot more now than then when he came out with the Cool and Food and Liquor. That's just and lasers because lasers was fucking terrible.
Oh, Lasers was horrendous.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like him a lot more now. He's more of an artist now. What else came out? And I'm missing some. Oh, Blue in Evidence.
Jesus. I didn't
I
even know
can't
that.
find it anywhere. Blue, completely produced by Evidence. Okay, and we have OT the Real and Fuego Bass moving bass OT. And there's a bunch of other
Bass
stuff that
OT.
I'm just overwhelmed. Okay,
Yeah.
my stomach hurts, my chest is in pain. There's something wrong with my eye. There's too much coming out.
See,
Okay,
that's what happened when you be putting your face in stripper's booty, man. Now you got pink eye.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
everybody said
exact
the
same
same thing except Malenko, who actually cared and made sure that I was doing all right, and he gave me a phone call. Derek,
Yeah.
you wanted to talk about an artist before we talk about strippers' assholes.
I've been checking up on you at least every day, asking you how your eye's doing. It's fine. The producer, he edits. I get
Gotta
it.
be
I get it. I'm
careful.
expendable. It's fine. I get it. I want to add one thing. I touched up on it at the beginning of the episode. There's an artist that I want to shout out, Samurai. SAM space R space I. Album called Stacks Pain. Fantastic. And it's really rare that I get to toot my own horn on this podcast, but I sent it to Steven.
Mhm.
And Steven was like, yeah, what he was high off the Ty Farris album. So I think at that point I could have sent him like an album of apples dropping and he would have listened to it. But he told me he was going to listen to it. And I feel like midway through the album, just shot me a text like, this is fucking good.
It is good.
And for Steven to say that means that like I got it well. But
Mhm.
listen, great artist, Samurai. There's a feature by Ty Farris on that album.
Okay.
Really solid work. It's heavy. It's got a lot of bass, a lot of slick talk. But the guy is honestly really good. It's not one of those albums that's probably going to make like the end of the year review or whatever the case may be, but it's at least a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Also coming from metal, I feel like I sort of gravitate towards a more like bass heavy sort of like steady beat. And
Scratches.
Scratches. Big fan of Scratches, and that album is every track has got him. Really good, really solid. There you guys got a chance. Listen to it. Samurai Stack Spain.
Is it on Spotify?
Yes.
I listened to it on Bandcamp, but
Okay.
there we go.
Can't
The
see
cover is
it.
fire. The cover is fired.
Stack
Yeah.
Spain. Oh, oh man. Well,
Mhm.
fucking
Yeah.
Mike Spain. I love that.
Yeah,
guy.
really
I
good.
seen that. I seen
Give-
it on my thing. Yeah.
Really good. Give it a listen, boys. I think he deserves a shout out.
I'll do.
Okay. I'll do that.
Boys, I think it's time where we switch to the next part of the episode,
Dun, 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 dun.
and we could talk
You got it.
about the big stuff happening in the world of wrestling.
Oh man.
Look at-
adjusting in his chair. He's getting excited.
Hold on.
Look at
I
Trap.
got my notes. Hold on, because I got my notes. We gotta talk.
Wait.
I gotta run through that SmackDown.
If you say Io Sky, Io Sky to start it off,
no EO Sky.
Trap,
I gotta
Trap,
run through-
It's-
Calm it down. Calm it
Trap.
down.
It's AEW first, and then WWE.
AEW.
AEW first.
I
Hold-
wanted
yeah.
to go in order because we have to go from that June 21st episode of SmackDown when Jacob Fatu arrived. We gotta go through that. It's gonna be quick. I don't even care about the rest of the matches. We just gotta discuss the bloodline segment because I wrote something down. I wrote some things down, right?
Hold your notes. And is that a pink notebook?
I mean, yeah.
Did you get-
It says shopaholics I met and like.
Did you
Yeah.
get that in June during Pride Month?
No, I actually I had this. I found this at my old job, so I just took it because I write down stuff. But it's not Prima no more. So now we gotta pause everything again.
If you put
Last month,
just
it
a
was-
put a like
yeah.
a Dipset sticker on it and you're good.
Yeah.
I'll send you a sticker. Okay, before we get into WWE and Trap gets all
I'm gonna
excited,
put all time on it.
there we
There
go.
you go.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door AEW pay-per-view.
Forbidden Door.
We're not gonna talk about it for so long because Trap doesn't watch AEW.
I do
Okay.
watch AEW.
He
I just forgot
doesn't.
it was on.
He forgot it was on. I told him to watch it. He didn't watch it. Malenko
I
Derek.
watched the last match. That's all I
Malenko-
care about. That's
Malenko
all I
Derek.
care about.
What did you think of the pay-per-view? I'm starting off with you, Malenko.
Yes,
So
please.
I
Tell me.
watched the whole pay-per-view.
It's like 5
Expecting
hours
nothing.
long.
I was expecting nothing. I went like, I don't know why. I didn't expect much from not this podcast, but by the pay-per-view. I was like, okay. I saw the card. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of weird matches in there. I'm not, dude. I love the whole card was exciting. For me, the only match that I didn't really care about is the Mox, John, the Moxley match.
Horrible in the ring.
I don't like him that much.
What happened to John Moxley?
Me
He's
neither.
horrible in the ring. He's bad. He's
I
so
don't.
bad.
He's so slow and whatever. So
I don't know.
other than that, well, let's talk about the main event because we all seen it. But
That's it. That's
Will
all I saw.
Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland.
That's all we
It's
need
like-
to really talk about. The pay-per-view was
They're like-
really,
they-
really good. It's the
Nobody cares about the
It's
three-way
AEW.
kiss. Yeah, the
It's-
three-way kiss. What is that about? Are they trying to recreate the old Attitude Era? What is that with Mia?
Yeah, I love
Nina
that.
Kisharma
I love
and
that.
what are they doing? Tony Storm and fucking Mariah. They kissing now? Three-way
yeah.
kiss?
It
I
was
mean,
hot.
I
I
mean, it
mean,
was
I'm
hot,
not gonna
but it was
complain.
fun.
I'm not gonna complain.
When you
I
got
know
3
you're
chicks
not.
kissing in a wrestling ring,
I'm
you
not
can't
doing
get
that.
better than that.
I'm
This
not
is
saying
not
nothing.
this is not Jim Cornette's wrestling, all right?
I'm not saying nothing. So the main event,
This
Swerve
is not my
Strickland
grandma's wrestling, okay?
versus Will Ospreay. That was again something that I didn't expect to go through the roof like that. But man,
You know what it reminded me of? Fucking Dragon Ball Z, the way they were fighting. For some reason, just the back and forth, the quickness. I'm like, they fighting like Goku and Vegeta.
yeah,
That's how they were fighting that whole match. Everything was just big spot here, big spot there, big. I get it. That's AEW. That's their style. I get it.
they did
Everything we're gonna get
those
you big spot.
strike combination, those fast strike
Yeah,
combination.
That's what I mean. It's like Dragon Ball Z, like
Those guys been working together for
Yeah.
years now, and they really put it out there. And Swerve,
Mhm.
man, he can move. I didn't expect him. He always do good on the ring, but I didn't expect him like to go against Will Ospreay. You need to be a beast. And the way Will Ospreay is putting out match of the year every match. So what the hell is going on? But
really.
dude,
I
he's
mean, the
been
last
just
two we had.
No,
yeah,
he
him-
does.
he does that.
him and,
Brian Danielson
yeah,
was
Bryan
amazing.
Danielson. I guess it's the same thing with this. If y'all like Dragon Ball Z style of fighting, then yeah, I guess. he
It's
put out
just
match of the
raw. It's
year.
just so raw, and the way I like how he sells when he does sell, because he doesn't sell a
Yeah.
lot. I'm gonna give you that. But when he do, I like him. The quickness of it, and I
Mhm.
didn't expect to finish the way it finished.
Dude, the whole time I was sitting in my basement watching it with friends and my son, and I was like, they can't give Will Ospreay the belt. Will Ospreay's not going to win the belt. Will Ospreay's not going to have both belts. And then
Yeah.
as we got closer to the match, I kept telling myself, not out loud, was like, oh shit, they're really going to take off the belt off Swerve right away? Like, are they really going to do that? And the way it finished, the match was phenomenal, okay? It just highlighted so much more that fucking Swerve Strickland, okay? First of all, he came out. Okay, hold on. First of all, when I changed my mind, I was like, Will Ospreay comes out. I'm like, fuck, he's probably going to win. Huh? They're really going to give him the belt. And then, all of a sudden, Jim Jones comes out and introduces Swerve Strickland. I said, ain't no way Swerve Strickland is going to lose this. There is no way that Jim Jones is going to come out and introduce you and you're going to lose a match. No way, Jose Canseco. And Swerve just fucking killed it. Yes, we could give our flowers to Will Ospreay, but Swerve Strickland, man, that guy could go up in the ring against anybody and he'll put on a show for you. He did phenomenal. His spots were on point.
Yes.
Okay. The way he would do his finishes, anything he did in that ring, man,
When he dodged that hidden blade, whoo, that dodge and then into the the swerve stomp off the fucking turnbuckle to the table. Like, I was just like, are you kidding me?
Don't take anything away from him.
No, never.
Nobody should ever take anything away from what Swerve
Never.
Strickland is doing. And you know what? At the beginning, I kind of was like, fuck, is he really championship material? Like the beginning of his championship run. I know it's only 2 months and a bit. I was like, man, what is he gonna do? What can he do?
It's the
There's really
company,
nobody
man.
he could go up against. But then he went again up against Christian, and I was like, wow,
Christian
they really
Cage.
put on a good thing together. And now he went up against Will Ospreay, and I was really scared he was gonna lose that belt, and he fucking came out on top, man. It was just amazing. The finish was amazing, amazing. Such great in the ring performance, technicality, just presence as who he is as a wrestler, as an entertainer, and what he could do. Swerve Strickland, man, is on a different level. Derek,
No,
you
it was
watched
really
it.
good.
I did. I watched. I didn't watch the whole pay-per-view. I watched the
It's
main
fucking long.
event. It is long, and
I'm
listen,
not watching all of that.
it's a lot of wrestling. I'm not saying that I'm not going to get to it, but for the sake of this episode, I got to the main event, and yeah, I mean, what else is there to say
Delivered.
about
It delivered.
What else is there to say about AEW pay-per-views anymore? There's nothing left to say. It's it's a professional wrestlers company. It's as simple as that. If you're a professional wrestler and you're into actual professional wrestling, not sports entertainment, you're into professional wrestling, not taking anything away from the new WWE. And yes, I will be referring to it as the new WWE from now on. But not to listen, AEW, it's superstars. It's superstars. There's probably not a better roster in terms of ability in the ring. They got some of the best wrestlers in the world. If you were to make a top 10 list of the best wrestlers, like wrestlers, in-ring wrestlers right now in the world, AEW's got more than half of them for sure. So I think right now it's a matter of time of seeing where the WWE is underutilizing certain superstars. They're going to jump ship to AEW, and then it's going to see where AEW is not pushing the good talkers and the good entertainers, and then they're going to jump ship to WWE. They're just going to keep doing that until both cards are fully stacked with their specific type of superstars. That's what it's going to be. I mean, who are we kidding? If we see a guy like in WWE, like Ilya Dragunov, if the WWE doesn't push him, why would they are pushing him, thank God. But what if he all of a sudden falls into oblivion? Then that's a guy that fits right into AEW.
Ricochet.
I mean, Ricochet. Yeah. Those are all super. Cedric Alexander. Those are all guys that could do that job in AEW, and they're going to get their shine because AEW is not that big on like having the big muscular superstars and the big guys. They're into having the smaller guys who are very technical in the ring. But listen, right now, if you're listening to this podcast and you were a fan of wrestling when you were a kid with the whole Attitude Era, I'm not saying that this is the Attitude Era by far. But in terms of what those guys back in the day were doing on the mic, the guys nowadays are doing it in the ring. And wrestling is in such a great place from having these two big companies who are competing but really elevating one another. And by having both those companies put up joint events or having superstars join and superstars do features and appearances, whether it's TNA with WWE or it's AEW in New Japan or whatever the case may be, this is a great time for anyone to get back into wrestling. And they're cycling stories at such a high rate that you don't need to have watched wrestling for the past 6 months. You could just jump right in and you'll understand everything that's going on. From a WWE perspective to an AEW right now, if you want to get into wrestling, now's the time. There's so much content and it's absolutely insane.
Let's move on from AEW. Swerve Strickland, still your AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Which is good.
Absolutely.
What a match.
Love it.
If you're not into wrestling and you're listening to my podcast, go watch that match and then shoot me a text or an Instagram message.
Like and subscribe as well.
Yes. Money in the Bank this Saturday.
Yes.
Toronto, Canada. Money in the Bank this Saturday. I'm so excited.
Wait. I didn't review the Samoan Werewolf Revival.
Can you
go for it?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Yes, Trap. I was laying out the red carpet for you.
The June 21st episode of SmackDown. We're not even going to review the whole thing, the matches, because that's not important. So we got the Bloodline coming in. They're ready to do their official inauguration. But then what happened? They get stopped. So then they come back out later on. It's a match between Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes. They get into it. Next thing you know, the fucking new bloodline comes there. They stop the match. Who comes out to help Cody Rhodes? Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. They think they got
RKO.
yes. They think they got him. They got him cornered. Who shows up finally? Who we all been waiting for? Jacob Fatu. Thank God they kept the name Jacob Fatu because I seen they licensed the name Caesar Sokoa and I heard they was gonna use that for him. That would have been horrible. Thank God. It's just amazing how that's how you make a debut. Like when you want to show that this is somebody who's important, the fact that Cody Rhodes put him over like that, for a champion to put over somebody new coming in like that, goes to show how much Cody Rhodes is a fan of the business, how he loves the game. Shouts out to Cody Rhodes. I like what he's doing as a champion. And for him to be a champion and to do that, to put a new guy that just came in over, like to take that shot from off the turnbuckle through the table on your arrival, like that's how you build up and that's how you debut new superstars. And like I think that's how you take note of it. He's already showing how he's already the henchman for the new bloodline and he looks dangerous. He has the look. He looks more dangerous than the Tongans. And I was just excited to see where this is gonna go.
Yeah. He also looks more intimidating than when I believe in him more as the enforcer than I did when Solo Sikoa became the enforcer for the bloodline. Because I look at Jacob Fatu and I look at him and I see him just the way he walks around in the ring. He's got that stare. And we've all seen it before in one superstar who has sadly passed away. That was Umaga.
Right.
Umaga had that stare. He had that energy that you don't want to fuck with him. He had that look in his eye that he'll hurt people. And Jacob Fatu has that vibe, just the way he paces the ring and he looks at everyone. He's got that stare. This is big. Listen, I've said it before on this podcast. This new bloodline, I called it after WrestleMania. This new bloodline is going to be legit, and this just sets up the world, the whole WWE world, for the return of Roman Reigns. And when that happens, WWE is gonna launch into the next
babyface Roman Reigns is gonna go crazy,
reuniting with the Usos.
Man, did you see? Did you hear that? Did you hear that crowd chant "We want Roman"? It's crazy.
And then we gotta go.
So now they want Roman.
Now they want Roman.
After all these years giving them shit, now they want Roman.
Yeah, but Malenko, they hit Paul Heyman. You can't hit the wise man like that and not
right. Oh, so we gotta talk about that too. I'm gonna do that real fast. That was the next week. So the next week, right?
Next page.
Had the official inauguration of the bloodline. So Paul Heyman, so it starts out CM Punk is in the ring, whatever. Paul Heyman comes out. I want to leave with you. I'm scared of the new bloodline, yada yada. So then eventually they go to it at the end. And guess what happens? They attack Paul Heyman, the wise man, because he would not recognize Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief. Right. They attack him, put him through a table. Paul Heyman just put it on the performance. He looks so just stressed out, disheveled, everything, like just everything Paul Heyman is bringing to that. I love it. So they put him through a table. Again, the Samoan werewolf shows up. He acknowledges his new tribal chief as Solo Sikoa, and that's that. Man, what 2 weeks of SmackDown have
you
been
called
good,
me,
man.
You called me on the spot.
Bro, I had to, bro.
Crazy.
Everybody's talking about Roman Reigns coming back. Somebody's put something in my ear. They're like, what if Brock Lesnar comes back? Because it's like, hey,
Brock Lesnar sort of doesn't really fit into this whole thing. Right now, they're building up this new bloodline to be so badass and absolutely destroying everything that unknowingly they're building. Roman Reigns doesn't even have to be there. He's getting built up already. When he's going to come back, he's going to be the most over babyface
ever.
It's going to be absolutely insane. And if they build this up right with, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Paul Heyman. Right. Not sure, because now they're seeming as they're hinting towards a Paul Heyman CM Punk kind of thing.
Jesus.
So, right. That's not what I want. I want Paul Heyman to sort of like recover from his injuries for a few months and then just
Yeah.
show back up with Roman Reigns. That's ideally what I'd like, but
Or either go with Ron Breaker. Either that.
maybe
that one.
But like we said, AW with the pay-per-views and the main
Mhm.
events and the talent of their roster, the storytelling right now in WWE is on fire. Please, 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 if you're listening to this podcast and you used to listen to wrestling, just Paul Heyman through a table. That's it. That's all I got to say. When's the last time that happened? Just watch it for that. Just watch it for that. That's
Look
it.
at Malenko. Malenko doesn't watch WWE.
But he's like
excited.
Paul
That's
Heyman
the
through a
problem.
table?
That's
Yes.
fucking funny. Yeah, I
See,
need to
that's
watch
the
that.
problem. You gotta watch WWE. See,
Money in the
So
Bank.
Money in the Bank. Trap, you're okay. You're good.
yeah, I'm good. Wait, Raw. So I just got a few things we got.
There we go.
On Raw. So we have the triple threat match between Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and
Ilya Dragunov.
yes,
Or a
Ilya
qualifying
Dragunov.
match for Money in the
qualifying
Bank.
for Money in the Bank. I thought that was a great match. Way to end Raw. The Kaiser promo I thought was phenomenal. I can't wait to see him come back. And that was it for me for Raw. That last match. That's all I really thought about for Raw.
There it go.
The Wyatt Six.
Well, yeah. Oh, yo.
Come on, y'all.
Take it away.
All right.
Yes, take it away, Derek.
All right,
please.
WWE fans, you remember, we don't need to go that far. Fireflies are back. The Wyatt Six. Listen, Bray Wyatt passing away was very, very sad if you're just an overall fan of wrestling from the lineage, the family that he came from, to the indelible mark he's left in professional wrestling from a story perspective, from a creative perspective. I can't speak enough highly of Bray Wyatt. He's one of my favorite WWE superstars of all time. And now to see the fact that Triple H and his brother Bo Dallas are keeping that lineage going with the Wyatt Six, I think it's going to be great. Honestly, it brought chills whenever I saw that happen.
Me too.
And I also like the fact that they brought in superstars who we feel like have been maybe left out a little bit. There was a point where they were pushing Dexter Lumis. He fell off the map. Eric Owen is back. He's one of the original members of the Wyatt family. Nikki Cross as well. And Nikki Cross, we've sort of have been hinting at it for a while. Nikki Cross, before she fell off the map, she was going a little loopy. So I think they tied that in really, really well. We're not too sure as to where it's going to go right now. They seem like they're going towards Chad Gable, which I'm not too sure why, but it could also be a ploy because Chad Gable brought up a really good point during his promo with Jey Uso, that Jey Uso stole the Fireflies. So I think that's really interesting as well. Yeah, and even during the tape of Bo Dallas interviewing himself, but interviewing Uncle Howdy. I think that was really interesting.
I thought that was good.
That was really good. I'm genuinely excited to see where this goes. I'm trying to not have my hopes up because I love Bray Wyatt so much and I don't want to be disappointed. But I have full faith in Triple H, in Bo Dallas, to keep that spark alive. And I think if there's one thing that the WWE needed a little bit was to bring back magic in a certain way. Cody Rhodes is a fighting champion. Damian Priest is a fighting champion. They're superstars. They're talented in the ring. They're talented. I'm like, we needed someone to bring in mystery, to bring in magic, to bring in that wow, bigger than life effect to professional, like Undertaker. And I think right now that's the faction to do so. And I thought I should really shout it out. I think it was so far it's really well done.
Absolutely. So Money in the Bank pay-per-view this Saturday.
Oh wait, you gotta. No, I'm just playing.
So close.
So once again, we just have 5 matches. Okay, for the pay-per-view. So let's go through the matches real quick.
Female Money in the Bank.
The female Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Chelsea Green. Lyra Valkyria. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. Lyra Valkyria.
Naomi. Tiffany Stratton. Zoe Stark. And your wife, Io Sky.
Bang, EO
Io's gonna
Sky,
win.
baby. She might be a 2-time Money in the Bank winner, but I doubt it. I feel like they're gonna give it to either Lyra Valkyria or Tiffany Stratton.
No, I really think you're
Those
all
are the
wrong.
two.
I think they're gonna give it to Chelsea Green.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time
Yep.
for her to be on top. She has something about her that could scream
Okay.
a championship. I'm great on the mic. I'm annoying
Okay.
as hell.
She'd
And
actually be pretty
always-
good in the ring.
And always ducking. That's going to be really important. She always ducks the fights. We need it's. I know it's going to sound weird to say, but we need like a coward champion. We need a champion that finds like a way to cheat every time and steal victories, or like find a way to
Logan
win even
Paul.
though she loses. Right.
Like
Well,
Logan-
Logan Paul's that's something else. But Chelsea Green on the mic, and I think the way she could elevate that championship to really being really good on the mic, I think that's going to stand out quite a bit, because as good as Liv Morgan is on the mic, she doesn't really do anything for me.
Nah, she doesn't.
And Bailey, as good as Bailey is as well,
I
it's
don't know what
Bailey.
the-
We've seen her as
Yeah.
champion before. I want something
Yeah.
new. I want some fresh blood. And to both your points, actually, I think it's going to be between Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton. I think both
Yeah,
of those
that's what I
bring some
said.
spark to the mic and bring some spark in the matches in terms of things we haven't seen. I think would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes,
Jey Uso.
Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. I personally think the winner of this is either going to be Jey Uso or LA Knight.
LA Knight. I got LA Knight. And he's gonna cash in on a US championship. He's gonna waste it on the US championship, which I think is horrible.
Or he wins the US
Or
championship
he
and
wins
keeps the
US
money in the
that's-
bank.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
No way,
that's
no way Drew's winning. CM Punk is going to come in and interfere
Yeah.
and stop him from winning. Derek?
I sadly agree, but it's okay. That's the storyline that's being
That's
built,
the
and that's
storyline,
perfectly fine
yeah.
with me. It's not going to be Chad Gable. I think the White Sick are going to interfere and cost him whatever chance he has. I'd love to see Carmelo Hayes, but he's too green. But I think he's good. They're going to put him over during the match.
Yeah,
That's
for
what-
sure.
Absolutely.
But honestly, and this would be a shame, my dark horse would be Andrade.
I was gonna
Andrade
say
on the
Mm.
Andrade on the mic is fire. Andrade in the ring is
it's
fire.
fire.
Listen, this guy, he
Yeah.
needs any sort of push. He's not fighting for the US championship. He's not fighting for an intercontinental championship. He's not in an attack team. He needs something to hold on to. You're paying him good money, and he's arguably one of the best wrestlers alive right now. You need to push him. You need to push him going forward. And I think I'm just setting it up for the future, but I think a guy like Andrade fighting any of the champions, whether it's Rollins, whether it's Priest, whether it's anyone, I think Andrade is going to do a really, really good job. Now, do I think he's going to win? I don't think so. I really think they're going to push Jey Uso, sadly. But I think it's going to be a great match. There's a lot of talented wrestlers in that ring. I'm not too sure how they're all going to synergize together. I think there's going to be a lot of interferences. I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of interferences from Wyatt, from Punk, from whatever the case may be.
To Logan Paul.
We could
So
also
everybody.
see. We could also see.
It's true.
Yeah, we could also see not even a match.
Jimmy
We could
Uso.
also see.
Let's see a
Right.
bunch of interference. Jimmy Uso could come back and be like,
Yeah.
"No, not you." Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. We could also see the White Six just absolutely decimate everyone, and then there's no one left to claim the money in the bank.
Yeah,
We could see that. That's good storytelling. That is
Yeah.
great storytelling. So I don't know where they're going to go, Steven. We're going to watch it together. But I think it's going to be overall a good match.
Yep. Next match we have for the Intercontinental Champion, Malenko's
Oh,
favorite
your
wrestler,
favorite.
Sami Zayn,
Wait, that's
versus
your favorite wrestler.
versus Braun Breaker. You know what? I don't want to talk about this match. I want to get to the next match because I want to. When we do the Money in the Bank review, I want to be able to be happy and say good things and see what's that too.
The match is going to last 2 minutes.
No.
They're
They're
gonna
not
squash.
squashing.
They're going
No.
to squash
They're
Sami
not
Zayn.
No,
squashing
they're
Sami
not.
Zayn.
If they squash
not
Sami
squash
Zayn,
him.
there's no way.
No,
I mean,
no,
Braun already showed he can hold the match.
I
no,
love what
no.
Derek's saying.
He hasn't. If you want long term to build Braun Breaker into an absolute monster, and that's for him to win a championship in under 5 minutes. You want to keep that mystique going. That's how you do it. Because no one's going to believe that Sami Zayn gave him a hard push, because then you're not going to buy into him being a destroyer. The only way for him to maintain that Steiner lineage and for him to keep being that absolute beast and to keep going on that semi Brock Lesnar / Goldberg / tear is for him to absolutely destroy Sami Zayn. It's the only way. Because everything else that you're going to do, if Sami Zayn puts up a fight and it's a 15-20 minute match, Braun Breaker, in my opinion, he's dead. I can't buy into him anymore. I can't buy into his spear. I can't buy into the energy. I can't buy into anything because Sami Zayn gave him a tough fight.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Sami Zayn literally that like struggles against Chad Gable. I can't buy into that. I honestly can't buy into that. So from that perspective only, I think Braun Breaker is going to destroy him.
They're probably gonna do that. They're probably gonna do that.
I like that, Derek. I'm feeling good.
Or make Braun Breaker lose. Either that or somebody interferes and make Braun Breaker lose.
There's no one to interfere, and even then, you want to build Braun Breaker as being a destroyer.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
Braun Breaker it is. Next match, go, Derek. You want Malenko? You want to say?
It's his first it's his big match, right?
It's his first title shot on WWE.
And they've been building him since NXT. I mean, he need to come out strong.
It's done for Sami Zayn with the champion.
And Sami Zayn is the guy that's gonna do that.
Yeah, to put you over. Absolutely, that I agree with you.
Because he's a great wrestler. Next,
I guess, man. Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know in which direction this match is gonna go. If I'm being very honest with you,
I don't know either.
I think Seth Rollins should win. But I think Damian Priest is gonna win. What are they gonna do?
Gunther versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam, and then Gunther beats Damian Priest.
I don't know.
So then we get Gunther versus Seth Rollins at Bad Blood. Or whatever.
The stipulation is that if Seth Rollins loses, he cannot go for the World Heavyweight Championship if Damian Priest is the champion, right? If Damian Priest loses, he needs to leave the Judgment Day. I don't know. Honestly, the most interesting thing to happen would be that Seth Rollins wins and Damian Priest has to leave the Judgment Day and has a feud with Finn Balor. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Let's see what Triple H is writing. Let's see what story that they're going to tell. I don't know.
That's a good one. I don't know.
Did Seth Rollins come back too quick? Is he getting a title shot too quick?
Wasn't he injured?
Yeah, but he's back. Did they only take the belt off of him because he had to go away for his injury, and they're gonna give it back to him so he starts a feud with Gunther? What's gonna happen? I don't know. Do I think Damian Priest should be the championship longer? Absolutely not. I don't think I don't think he's a good championship at all. I really don't.
That's just funny the way you said it. Yo,
he's
really see. Not
Is he good on the mic?
Terrible.
I gotta give Cody Rhodes more respect because I thought Cody Rhodes championship wasn't gonna be good, and it turned out to be fucking awesome.
Malenko, you would despise Damian Priest on the mic. Despise.
Oh, shit.
And the main event is the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Why are you shaking your head?
Because it shouldn't be a main event.
It shouldn't be a main event, but it's going to be the main event.
That's the problem with having Cody Rhodes as champion. Is that so long as Cody Rhodes is champion, any match that has Cody Rhodes is going to be the main event.
But the last one, the last pay-per-view, he was the first match.
Right, but it was also the match that everyone was looking forward to. So there's that sort of expectation that goes around Cody Rhodes. And the thing is that this type of match, like the Bloodline versus whatever this thing is called, for me, it just feels like it's a little too rushed. I want to see more shenanigans. I want to see more interferences. I want to see
Me too.
one of them I want to see some of them hold the tag team championships and then fight for tag team championships. Like I want to see that sort of thing. Like right now, for me, it feels odd that the main event of a pay-per-view, especially a big pay-per-view, probably in the top 5 WWE pay-per-views of the year, is a match that does not involve a championship.
Not even Money in the Bank. Like they should maybe like put the bank on there.
I can't buy into that. I just can't buy into that. As good as the new Bloodline has been, and as good of a champion as Cody Rhodes has been, KO and Randy Orton, sadly for me right now, they're not adding any face value other than their names. We haven't really heard the Bloodline talk other than Solo Sikoa. Everyone else just says nothing. And now with Jacob Fatu showing up, the Tongas, I feel like they're nowhere. They're just sort of like the new Usos, which, okay, if they're going to be the new Usos, push them to a tag team. What are we doing? You know, like, so in my opinion, if there's anything, I believe it's AEW. Doesn't AEW have like a triple team championship?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be doing something like that, and you're going to be building these teams of 3 people, like the Judgment Day, they have 3 people. The Bloodline, they're 4. Like, if you're going to keep building these teams of 3 people, why not have them fight for gold? At least now your main event is so much more impactful. Cody Rhodes could have 2 belts. So, you know, there's that sort of thing going. But in my opinion, it shouldn't be a main event. Because Cody Rhodes is going to be there, I know it's going to be a good match. But in terms of the rest, I'm sort of afraid that they're pushing the Bloodline too high, and now they might get exposed on a match like this. But
there's a big finish. That's why it's the main event. Something's going to happen. Somebody's going to come back, or something's going to happen. I just have a feeling that it's just going to be... They're doing... It's done on purpose. Is
Jacob going to be in the match? No, right?
No,
but he's going to be there. And apparently his brother is supposed to come back. What's his name? Well, not come back, but be part of the Bloodline. He signed a contract. It's the other Fatu.
Zilla Fatu.
Yes.
So that's, but at the same time, you know, but now if that's going to be the case, now one team is outnumbered, the other team isn't. And now you're sort of pushing a return from Roman Reigns. I feel is way too early right now.
SummerSlam should be the time he comes back. It needs to be SummerSlam. It's the big
event. I'd have him come back all the way to Royal Rumble.
Jesus.
Let him take off. No, let him take off. Make the Bloodline. Right now, what has the Bloodline done? The new Bloodline. I'm sorry.
Beat the shit out of people.
Right. Who have they beaten the shit out of?
Paul Heyman.
No, you're right.
Paul Heyman.
Kevin Owens.
Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. Does Roman Reigns care about Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes has his belt. Does he care about Randy Orton? No, he beat him before. Does he care about Kevin Owens? No, he beat him before. He's not hurting anyone that's relevant to Roman Reigns.
Well, Paul Heyman.
Oh, Paul Heyman. I'm sorry. They put him through.
It's Paul Heyman. It's the wise man. It's Roman Reigns' wise man.
Perfectly understand. But does it make sense for Roman Reigns to come back and align himself with 3 superstars that he's beaten in the past? It makes no sense. The only way this makes sense is for the Usos to get back together, for the Bloodline to absolutely decimate them, which they've already decimated one.
Yes.
They would have to decimate the other at Money in the Bank, cost him the Money in the Bank match, and then Roman Reigns is like, I fucking had enough. You've heard my wise man. You've heard the 2 Usos. This is not what I want. I'm the tribal chief. That's the only way for this to make sense.
I agree with that. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, let them come back at fucking Survivor Series. I don't care.
SummerSlam I would
say early. Let them say Survivor. You said Royal Rumble. That's crazy.
But build it. Just build it.
Build it. Yeah, let them come back Survivor Series.
Let people forget about Roman Reigns just for like a really small amount of time. That when his music hits and he comes back, people lose their fucking mind and they go ape shit. And he's the most over wrestler ever.
Do it at War Games. And make it a War Games, new Bloodline versus old Bloodline.
He's got to go after Solo for Solo being the tribal chief.
And the best way to do this is they find a new wise man, the new Bloodline.
But where does The Rock fit into all of this?
Fuck The Rock.
I was gonna say that too, but where does he fit into all of this?
Maybe not. Maybe he's gonna join with the Usos and Roman Reigns. It's a possibility. But the best way to do this,
again?
Yeah, you have Paul Heyman take a break. Let's say we say Survivor Series. That's what we said, right? Survivor Series, SummerSlam. Middle of a match, Paul Heyman's music hits. He just goes, "Ladies and gentlemen," and he does this little thing, and he just introduces Roman Reigns that way. That pop, because he's going to be building it up, right? So there's two ways to do it. You either hit his music, like Roman Reigns' music, and everyone pops, and everyone's like, "Hey, what's Paul Heyman doing here?" And bam, he says he's the wise man for the whatever. He does his little speech, and then Roman Reigns hits, and he comes back looking like an absolute monster. Listen, you take my money. Take my money. Right now, Triple H is good at building these long stories. We've seen it with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Let's keep that going. You have one. And I've said this before in the past. The problem with WWE is they always have one really long-term storyline and then a whole bunch of short-term ones.
Right.
You need two long-term storylines that will culminate at WrestleMania. So that way both nights at WrestleMania are impactful. And now he needs to do that.
Good point. Let's see what happens.
Good point, Derek. Good point.
I'm excited for Money in the Bank. I'm excited for SummerSlam. I'm excited for all things wrestling to come.
Me too. I'm excited, man. Wrestling has been great this year so far. Like, I'm talking about all of it. Like
everything. It's just
AEW's
another
on a tear.
2024.
Not really. They don't have no viewers. 500,000 viewers. Come on.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those pay-per-views are elevating WWE to deliver more.
It's true. You're not wrong. And their last pay-per-view was completely packed. People were going ape shit. And not just because it was a merge with the merger pay-per-view with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's just that people were getting interested in the matches, and their pay-per-views are just bringing more people out. They're more entertained. Yeah, and we got to stop watching and seeing what people are putting online about people not showing up to AEW events. It's only happened a couple of times. It's just the media. It's just social media fucking putting things in our brains and stuff like that. They're doing good. They're in their own lane. They're not a major, and they're just they're not a major, and they're not WCW. They're just in between.
But at the same time, it's perfectly fine.
No, I'm not knocking it. It's fine. They have a good thing over there. It's just
I think people are just going at it.
No,
at
just
the same time when
AEW was horrible.
But when
AEW
when AEW was doing fine and was just coming up, people loved the shit on WWE Every week they were shit on and now
because WWE was going through a bad phase and AEW gave you that indies feel. If you like the indies wrestling, all of that jumping and going through tables, then you're gonna like AEW. Like that's just it.
And they're gonna fill up Wembley on the 28th. It's for sure they're gonna fill Wembley back on for all in.
That's big. That's at my place, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think to everyone's point, I think it's a matter of just understanding whose lane they fit in. You honestly,
right?
You can't target the WWE. It's too big. It's too big. The money behind it
is a monster.
It's too big.
It's too big. So what do? There was a time where WWE, its closest competitor, was not even a competitor. It was just a solid number two. Yeah, TNA for a while. Whenever Ric Flair, AJ Styles, Sting, Hulk Hogan,
Kurt
Angle,
Scott Steiner, the Dudley Boys.
Was TNA competing with WWE?
Never.
Well, other than the fact that they switched to Mondays, but that was the death of TNA at that point.
Yep.
There was a time where TNA was the solid number two. When WCW was around, then they became number one for a while, and then they were back to being number two. ECW did the same thing. What were they good at doing? In the height of WCW, in the height of TNA, in the height of ECW, they were good at sticking in their lane and challenging the status quo. We are not WWE. In our mind, we'll put out the product that we want out of professional wrestling. And that's how you elevate WWE to do more. By WWE not resting on its laurels, by being like, hey, you know what? They're doing things differently over there. They're not in our lane, but we could easily get inspired from them. Hell, the whole Attitude Era came from another company.
I know.
So, and right now, listen, we see AEW, and all of a sudden, Vince McMahon leaves and Triple H takes over. How much of that is Triple H? Absolutely. But how much is Triple H looking at what the number two does and being like, okay, how do we change it up? So mission
got to.
accomplished.
Right.
As AEW, mission accomplished. You've pushed the competition to become better.
Absolutely.
Your job is done. You've nailed it. You could
Nah,
fall
they
and
gotta-
burn at this point, but you've done it. So what's the point?
It's-
I just keep doing what you're doing.
Triple H watched Forbidden Door. I can guarantee you it. Every single match, every single story, the finish, the beginning, the whole thing. He's watching it, and he's trying to bring that type of energy, that type of in-ring performance to WWE, because he has the guys, and he's gonna sign more guys. Trust me, to have that energy. Trust me.
Here
sure.
comes the money.
That's great.
And on that note,
Is
boys,
Shane gonna be there?
I don't
I
know,
wish.
man.
Shane should be popping out. I love Shane.
Shane's gonna be the new CEO of AEW. Get ready, it's gonna
You
happen.
should. Hopefully, they need something there
Wow.
because they need to change something because their weekly shows is a tough watch.
It's coming.
Every Wednesday and Saturday.
MJF is back. It's gonna start picking up.
Still-
I'm telling you.
You
I
say
need
that every time you tell me that, the numbers say otherwise. You tell me that
Wednesday we
the
have
viewers tell
Pac
me otherwise.
Pac
Pac
versus
Brian Danielson.
that's gonna be something.
When you have less
Beach Bash.
viewers
Beach
in
Bash.
NXT, that's bad. You can't have less viewers in NXT. That's bad.
And on that note, where I cut Trap off for shitting on
See?
AEW, but
I'm
not watching
shitting
the
on them.
pay.
I like AEW. I just didn't watch the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
I forgot it was on. And I'm not watching 5 hours of that. I just want to watch the important stuff. So I watch the important stuff. Come on, you really watched Tony Storm versus Mia Shikama? Yeah,
no,
you watched-
I went
Oh,
upstairs
yeah.
and
I
I
was
got
winning-
pie and ice cream.
Right,
It
exactly.
was a great match. I
And
like
so I
That's
could
what-
watch
see?
her half naked wrestle while I was eating pie and ice cream. And on
you
that
watched
note, boys,
So you watched it with a boner. That's crazy. You watched it with a boner. It's crazy.
And ice
That's why
cream.
you had the ice cream. Yeah,
And ice
you had to play the ice cream covering his boner. Wow.
I appreciate you
man.
all. It was great
That's
to
a
have the
horny
Fatal
ass show.
Four.
Yes, I love the Fatal Four, man. We got to do
Well-
this again.
We'll do this again. Our next episode is going to be the Money in the Bank review.
Money in the Bank.
Thanks for being here tonight, boys. Big
Thank
Cheddar
you.
in the left-hand top corner.
Thank you.
The producer in the bottom left-hand corner. And we got, with his Pride
Gross.
notebook,
the world strongest podcaster.
Io Sky's husband in the bottom
I'm an
right.
Eagle Scout fanatic. Yes.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Like and
Like and
subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe and like. We'll see you
Eagle
guys soon.
Sky.
Peace.
Those are the 2 words.